Hey everyone, as I was saying about not making assumptions, I want to actually share with you 4 agreements that really made a huge difference in my life. So 4 agreements is actually a book from Miguel Ruiz, and to be completely honest, I haven't yet read the whole book, but those agreements are also used in a spiritual community that I was part of, and so I did read a lot about it and I was integrating it as I was living like it. So 2 of them I was pretty much living it already, which is to be impeccable with your word, which means make sure that you really understand the things that you're saying, how you're saying, have integrity, trying to always live by what you said. The other part of it that I'm still, of course, still struggling, sometimes I know that I need to get better, is to really be aware of which words that we are using for life and to express ourselves and to express the situations that we're having. It's kind of like the law of attraction kind of thing, right? Like, so for example, it can be very subtle, but if I keep saying to me all the time, like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted, that's what I'm attracting. So be impeccable with the word also can come in hand when I think of like, oh my God, I should be saying like, okay, I'm recovering my energy. What are the things that I want to do? Or if I would say like, oh my God, I so hate this, or I so hate that, I'm bringing more hate to my life and I don't want that. So those are like little examples on this agreement. Another agreement that is saying as well, it's like always do your best. So when we are also doing our best and we understand that and we come from that point, the thing is that we can also perceive other people as doing their best in the world, doing their best in that point, in that situation. So instead of like kind of like trying to find something meaningful behind someone's actions, or oh, this person did this because of that, we just like know like, okay, they're doing their best. Maybe they're like not really doing a good result through their actions. It might not be what you would do, but we never know what's the situation that the person's going through, what are the traumas that they have, what are the intentions behind it, and things like that. So by assuming that people are doing their best, we can just kind of like let it go from some things and focus especially in what you can do. And whatever you're doing in a situation is always like, what is it that you can do as the best, right? Like best way to act through something. And even if it's hard, if it's a situation that like might be triggering you, so what is the best that you can act? How is the best and the ideal that you like that outcome to be, and what you can do for that? So, and if it doesn't really happen, the outcome, the ideal outcome, you know at least that you did give your best. So this is a really great advice. And I remember this pretty much like as a Girl Scout, they always used to say, give your best. I really like it. So the third one, I might not be saying those in order, it's just like in the order that comes in my mind. So the other one that it comes to me, that really, this one really changed my life. And don't take things personally, because I used to care too much. I used to be feeling that I had to really be always making the best for people and like really like kind of satisfied everyone, right? And whenever something did go well or something did go wrong, I would think, oh my God, maybe that's because of me. Someone didn't call, oh, maybe it's something that I did. Or this person decided to take it, I don't know, he's not feeling good. Oh, I need to do, like, give more. It was always like, yeah, you know, that kind of, yeah, that inner child that is trying to look for love and trying to please. Unfortunately, I was like that. Not unfortunately, I mean, I want people to be happy, so that's part of me. My core values is that contribution. So whenever they were not, or something would break, or like, you know, like in a relationship, or someone would just not understand something, I would take things so personally. I would be like, oh my God, it's because of me, or like, what can I do, or things like that. And knowing that things are not personally does help a lot, especially out there for those of you who are always kind of like self-blaming yourself, or also like kind of thinking that people are doing something because of you, or kind of playing the victim. that's like a very big trigger there. So good to be aware when that's going on. And the fourth agreement that is also really, really good, it's related to that. It's like not making assumptions. And just as I was saying in the other videos, right? Like let's hope and try not to make assumptions. And why do I say that? It's because even though we feel like we know something and we immediately like, oh, this is happening because of this, a lot of times it's not because of this, and people are living different realities. Even yourself might be living something and knowing that you know everything and why you're doing something, and you might not know. It's always good to have the invitation and doors open for self-reflection, and for as well the openness to actually see someone else's side, have another perspective on things. We're living in a world like in which everyone is having such a different experience and different perspective of things, that if we can actually go through an overview and or just invite them to share their experience, we would just learn much more than if we think that we know everything. Do you understand that? If we think that we already know something, we just don't have anything more to learn. While if we want to actually learn and see the world through someone else's eyes, be more empathetic, more compassionate, and actually see other angles of perceptions and interpretation of the world and the meaning that people are applying to situations, we might actually really learn a lot, or at least in this, or at least see the world through someone else's eyes is also so good to actually make us empathize and connect better. And yeah, this is my very pink world kind of saying here, but I really truly believe that the world would not be in war if we could actually start connecting more with each other and trying to see perspectives and the common points that we are as human beings, instead of like just the differences and trying to like fight for who is right and who is wrong. Sometimes, yes, there are things that are better to do, not so good to do because of the consequences. But if we all allow ourselves to really stop with making assumptions about things and be more open to learn, or even when I say learn, doesn't mean that you need to change yourself, but at least to be open instead of like just making such a big, heavy assumption of why people are doing something, and understanding there's still like the layers behind that, or like, you know, like what is underneath the surface on the iceberg can actually show just the pure essence of connections of the human beings. In the end of the day, I truly believe that everyone's here. It's light and we want good things, and connecting to that true essence of us makes the world a better place. And if you don't want to have like such a collective way of viewing this, from a very selfish perspective, I just can share to you that it really changed my life, because I stopped caring a little bit too much with what was going wrong and focusing what I can do for the best and still find peace in any situation. So yes, I think that's that. I've already talked way too much about this topic, which is actually quite deep and complex, and there were way too many examples on this, but this was my simple way of trying to explain. And let me know, please share in the comments what you think about this topic, if it helped you, if there's other agreements in your life that you also feel like it have been very helpful. And all I know is that these agreements just like core agreements that from those many other personal values actually break down, and values that I actually will apply in business, and I would love to see more in the world so we can create a really nice world. Tell me, share with me, what kind of world would you like to create? I do want this like pink world in which we're like kind of like solving problems and creating impact and feeling very well and connected with each other. So peace and harmony for all of you. Lots of love and light from Chiang Mai right now. Much love.